Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing stages 39 to 43 of the Deagostini Collectibles release of Build the Ford Mustang. Now remember, this isn't a 1.8 build, this is a 1.6 build, so this is like a million times bigger than what you'd expect. This is what we've been creating so far, and today I believe we are going to be putting the other wheel on here, the other brakes as well. We are going to be extending out this chassis, which means that this isn't going to be fitting in one of my storage boxes anymore. So if you do want to get hold of this yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. I don't know if this is available at the moment, but there are chances that it can come back, so check your territory and you'll be able to see if that's the case. Now, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so if you are a YouTube channel member or a Patreon member, there's going to be no live stream, and there's going to be no video on the channel tomorrow morning either. There will be a video on the live stream on Thursday evening, hopefully if I get back in time, but I'm going to be in Essex for a couple of days, so that's what's happening there. But I'm going to jump straight into this, so without further ado, let's get cracking. And here we go, this is stage 39, and again it's another quest to find out how many different ways I can say the word enormous and gigantic. But as you can see, we've got the right rear drum and the shock absorber. We're going to be putting the shock absorber in place there, and then we're going to have the drum ready to go on here, ready for a wheel to be attached, and we're going to be doing that in the next few stages. And this is the rest of the magazine. So here you go, here's stage 39. I am going to need to, let me get them out now, get some pliers out, because I've got to push a pin through that shock bracket. In fact, that is actually the first thing that I'm going to do. So let me get this bracket out here. And quite simply, the bracket's just going to go in here like this. And we've got this pin which goes in smooth side first, just into the other side. And I think the hardest bit here is just to make sure that it's thread through all the way. I'm very conscious I say, I should say thread, not thread. Anyway, so pliers here just to push that all the way in. Like that. And there we go. That's in place. Now I've got some PS05 screws here, which I'm going to open up ready. Because if I bring up this truly enormous chassis, where we've got the shock in this side here, probably best on the top camera, we're going to be putting this into this side here. Now, there is a locating lug just there. That's going to help us line that up. It's going to go in this way. Perfect, that's into place. And then I do need one of those PS05 screws. And this whole build can be done with PS1 screwdrivers. It's so big. Turn it over. I'm holding it with my hands from this side and just screw this in here. Now, once that's in, again, probably best on the top camera, I've actually got the shock here, which I get to put in to the hole just like this. And the other side is going to be going into the hole just here. Now, it is shaped, so just rotate it round until it slips into place. There we go, in like that. That's going to be held in with one of these flange screws, looking like that. They are a PS23 screw. And just screw that into there. So, that's in place. I'll just put this on the floor. And we've got the three sides of the drum here. Now, in the instructions, it tells us to put these into place. I'm not going to do that yet, because all we do is just put them on gently, only to take them off in the next few stages when we put the wheel on. So I'm just going to leave them like that for now, and we'll move on to the next stage. So I'm going to be bundling the next two stages together, because this is all about the wheel. So in stage 40, you see another massive wheel to create, where we do need inner supports because the wheel is so big. And that's all we're going to be doing in that stage. There's the rest of the magazine. And then in stage 41, we are going to be fitting that wheel onto the car, which is why I mentioned about the brake drum there, that we actually put this into place just like this to put onto the car. So now that's looking like that. Okay, so here is the wheel that we're going to need to reinforce because it's so big. And once again, if you want to know how big it is next to my big head and my Magnum PI shirt, that's how big the wheel is. And all we're going to do is we're going to be pushing these inside here. Now the first one's easy to get in because there's no other one in the other side. So just get that in like this and make sure that's pushed in all the way. The second one you are going to have a bit of a fight with, so don't be afraid to really stretch this as much as you can. So let me show you what I mean. Really push this as much as you can to get this all the way over this lip, down and in there like that. It's going to need a little bit of brute strength to get that one in. You don't need any hot water or anything like that though. We've got these clips then that go into here to clip all of those two parts together. You should hear it click into place and it should be flush on the inside there. So there's one that side and just going to do one on the other side here. Perfect. And then that's clicked in as well. And that's the wheel in place. That one's just come out. Let me just click that back in. There you go. Looking like that. So then here's the bag for stage 41. These have to be metal because of the weight of the car. You can imagine how heavy this is going to be. So then I've got what looks like lug nuts here and it has got a shape pattern. So we have to put it in this way. And then look at that. When it goes through, it looks like there's nuts on the other side. Very clever. We also have a valve to put in. And that looks like this. That's just going to go into that top section there. Push that all the way in. So again, that's what the valve looks like in there. Now, when we put these parts in, the rims, you can see we've got some tabs either side. We need to make sure that those tabs are going into the tabs of the clips that we just put in. So there's only one way this can actually fit in. So I'm going to get this one in first. So that sits in like that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. As you see, tabs on each side again. And that's going to help line it up. So just checking everything lines up okay. That's looking good, that side. And that side. Okay, we're good. So we're going to screw these in with these DS19 screws. Now once we've got a couple of these in, it's going to be easy to get them all in. So I don't put them in tight. I just put them in just enough to bite the screw head, the screw tail should I say. And 3 is your magic number here. Once you've got 3 in, it's easy to get the rest of them in. Put your finger behind just to push them together. There you go. And then just make these as tight as you can get them. And there we go. That's that wheel completed. Now we're going to be putting this on the car. So what we're going to do, and I'm probably best on the top camera, is going to be taking these two parts of the brake. Now as you see, these have got holes in this side here. This section here has got holes in this side here. So we're going to be putting this in this way, just like this. And when that's pushed into place, it should look like that way round. Now this has got a keyhole pattern, so it can only go in one way, but that's going to go on just like that there. I'm then going to be putting on the brake drum. Going to go over the top again on that keyhole pattern there. And then with the wheel, if you look on the top, we do have that notch there, which we're going to be following with the notch of everything else we've got on here. And just make sure that slips in all the way. So when it turns, that whole thing turns. That's perfect. So I've got a DS12 flange screw here, which I'm going to put in. A little bit of oil. And you want to get this in as tight as you can get this, so that there's no wheel wobble, but the wheel should still be able to turn, as you can see. And then we're just going to be putting the hubcap into the center. There's a magnet on that, which is going to keep that in. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now I'm going to do the last couple of stages together as well, because there's not much to do in this. As a matter of fact, this pack, there wasn't much to do at all. We've got a wheel arch to put in. So we're going to be putting the wheel arch on the chassis we created. That's all we're going to be doing on that stage. And there's the rest of the magazine. And in the final stage here, I will show you this because this is an absolutely ginormous section. We're going to be extending that chassis out with the intermediate part of it, which looks like that. This is going to be absolutely massive. And there you go. There's the rest of the magazine. So once again, I'll bring up the chassis, and I am going to have to start zooming cameras out, I think. We've already put one of these wheel arches on this side, so I'm going to be doing the one on this side now. So this quite simply is just going to go over the top of these sections just here, lining everything up so it snaps in. And they're held in with these DS02 screws. And there we go, that's in place. And just for a size, that is how that's looking. Now you wait to see how big this gets. Because in stage 43, we have this truly massive box. Let me get this open. And here is that center panel, all metal. It's going to need to be metal, as I said, because of how heavy this is going to be. And quite simply, this section's just going to go on top of this section like that there. And it's going to use the same screws that we put the wheel arch in. These are DS02 screws. So you're going to want to sort of lift it so it's not bowed. I'm using oil, and you want to get these as tight as possible because these 4 screws are going to hold the middle integrity of this vehicle. And that's all 4 screws in place. Now that is massive. Let me just show you this. We still haven't got the front end on yet. Looking good, isn't it? Now, you know what? If you are starting out doing builds at the time and you can still get hold of this 1/6 scale Mustang, this is probably a good place to start because the parts are so big. It's easy to work with rather than the 1/8 scale, which gets a little bit more fiddly as it gets a lot smaller. But that is looking ginormous. Perhaps that should be a thumbnail. What do you reckon? My little posing face. Okay, you will have to check it yourself though. I know that some of the territories it's gone from now, but it may come back sooner or later. Check the video description and also that QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.